Expectation isn't just guidance. It is a leash you learn to hold yourself. We often treat social pressure as an external force, a weight pressing in from the outside. But the tension is actually a product of your own internal hardware. To survive a fast-moving universe, biology had to build an antenna. A conscious system cannot simply sit and take the punches. By the time a physical disaster touches you, it's already too late. You are a walking bag of hyper-paranoid wires designed to see the fist coming before it moves. Your brain survives by projecting a seamless illusion of the immediate future, scanning for obstacles before your body touches them. It maps social dynamics the exact same way, monitoring the tribe for approval and writing their expectations directly into your survival code. The suffocating weight of social expectation is the result of this process. It is your own brain obeying its own predictive model of how to stay safe within the group. This is why the pressure remains even when the people are gone. The physical crowd doesn't need to be present. Once the expectation is internalized, the hands that hold the leash can evaporate into smoke. This happens because of a cognitive threshold called the threat gate. It is a background process that constantly scans the room for social survival risks, monitoring for signs of exclusion, status loss, or reputational damage. When the threat gate detects potential friction, it automatically boots up an internal PR manager. The objective of your thinking shifts from finding what's true to managing your behavior so you don't get ejected from the tribe. This internal manager polices your words and curates your hesitations. It ensures your actions match the simulated expectations of the crowd, making you predictable enough to be tolerated. In most situations, you are not being controlled by other people. Your own survival software is managing you on their behalf. The moment you attempt to deviate from the script, you feel a sharp biological resistance. Defying the predictive model isn't just a mental choice, it carries a physical cost. Under the threat of social exclusion, the brain defaults to OR-gate logic. Unlike careful reasoning that waits for multiple facts to converge, the OR-gate is built for speed. It only needs one signal, a judgmental look or a silent text, to trigger a systemic alarm. This alarm manifests as a spike in cognitive load. The brain dumps adrenaline into the bloodstream to force you to pay attention to the danger. Your heart rate climbs and your system begins to sweat, even if the threat is just a pixel on a screen. This biological panic is the internal ledger warning you of a potential social deficit. It's the price your system pays for risking a prediction that might get you ostracized. The fear of disappointing others is your biology punishing you for breaking its model of survival. Compliance offers immediate relief. By adopting the expected behavior of the room, you step back into alignment with the system, and the leash goes slack. This creates mathematical relief in the brain. It closes the prediction error, the gap between what the brain expected from the environment and what it actually received. This feeling of peace isn't proof that you found the truth or made a moral choice. It just means the biological alarm system successfully turned itself off. What we often call social harmony is just the brain rewarding you for being predictable and keeping the survival engine stable. Breaking this loop requires an intentional act of refusal. It means choosing to sit in the tension rather than moving at the speed of the room. It requires re-engaging the AND gate, the slow, convergent process that waits for evidence instead of reacting to the first threat signal. You have to pause, even as the system demands a response. This is where the friction lives. You have to endure the biological sweat of ambiguity, while your predictive system screams that you face exclusion. Genuine refusal is not an act of rebellion against others, but the conscious endurance of your own biological false alarm. Eventually, you call the bluff. If you refuse to react, the predictive engine updates its weights. You touch the leash, and it dissolves into ash. When you stop reacting to the hallucinated penalty, the internal PR manager stops predicting the punishment. The external pressure doesn't necessarily disappear, but it stops being able to move the machinery of your body. We spend much of our lives agonizing over expectations that are optimized for a world we no longer live in. The most expensive constraints aren't out there in the crowd. They are the uncalibrated predictions of a survival code that is still learning how to be wrong.